You guys have often heard me speak of Dr. King. You've heard me talk about the complexities that this man has endured in death as he dealt with in life. What I mean by complexities, how people receive him, how we receive him, how we use him. Dr. King has been gone 51 years. This April made 51 years. And I keep telling people he's been dead longer than he lived. People, when they talk about Dr. King, they talk about like he's some old dude. But he was a young man. He was 39 years old. A lot of us have outlived Dr. King. We were little kids watching the videos, black and white videos or films. Listen to the records, seeing the books and posters and pictures of him. He's forever stuck at 39. We're aging. Yes, he's been dead. But the thing is, he's stuck at that age. And we've allowed people over the last 51 years to attack and manipulate him for nefarious purposes. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of being on Nicole's Views. And she had other guests on as well. And we were talking about how they're going after Dr. King and assassinating this character by claiming that he was this master fornicator, that he sat back and watched other pastors rape women, all kinds of crazy stuff. And the person that's writing this book said that they got evidence that this is true. But I was telling Nicole and her listeners that if this is true, J. Edgar Hoover would have used this when King was alive. This would have came out years ago. This would have came out when they was trying to fight to get his birthday a national holiday. Now, 50-something years later, this writer said, we want to look at King in a different light. No, you want to destroy his character. And I'm going to tell you why they feel this need to is because they got to win. They got to win with Bill Cosby. Now, y'all saying, what does Bill Cosby got to do with this? Bill Cosby is more connected to the civil rights movement than y'all think. But the thing is, when they got that win, when the media was able to turn Bill Cosby into a monster literally overnight with the assistance of some of our brothers and sisters, they said, let's not stop at Bill Cosby. Let's go after this person. Who's the next revered person in Black America? Dr. King. Did you destroy Dr. King's legacy? Did you destroy any ability to talk about him in schools? To honor him in a holiday? Because then the Me Too movement, these women said, well, he was a fornicator. He was this and that. Then not only they're attacking Dr. King, they're attacking his wife. Then they're attacking the men and women that work with Dr. King. And there's only a handful of those people still left. I warned y'all, excuse me, back in 2017, I said, there's too many white dudes doing the perp walk. They're going to flip it on black men. And I said, once they did that, Bill Cosby's going to go to jail. And I said, once they do that, they start bringing up Michael Jackson, these other cats. What did they do to Michael Jackson the last few months? And the thing is, you got people in our community eating this shit. Dr. King can't defend himself. Coretta can't defend her husband or herself. Excuse me. Some people say Dr. King's children, surviving children, should defend him. No, they shouldn't. People need to remember their father was assassinated. They were traumatized. They didn't have the experiences that some of us were able to have with our fathers. Remember, this man was out there marching, going across the country, fighting battles. Now it's time for us as a people, whether we be black, white, Asian, Hispanic, who have benefited from this man's sacrifice to fight for him. Let me remind y'all, this man was assassinated April 4th, 1968, 51 years ago. He lay dying on a balcony in Memphis, Tennessee. The man was surrounded by people who hated him. Let me remind y'all, back during the 1960s, Dr. King was one of the most hated people. When he died, people cheered. Politicians and celebrities had some snarky to say. But they don't play them clips anymore because a lot of those people, you watch their reruns, you watch their movies, you watch their children, you supported them or a studio they worked for somehow in some shape, form, or fashion. And there's another reason why they want to go after this man's legacy, because he was a straight black man. If you notice, all the straight black men, famous or not, are always under attack. Think about this for a second. We had a book come out back almost 20 years about Malcolm being gay. Think about that for a second. And the brother that wrote it, he died shortly after. I think he died of cancer or something. But the thing is, because Malcolm was about street life, they say he must have turned tricks and nothing. Now here it is, Malcolm X been dead longer than King. In all them years, you never heard that. All of a sudden, now they start talking. It's always about a black man's sexuality, whether he's with a woman or whether he's a man or multiple people. See, this is the way they divert. See, they gotta find the equivalent of Dr. King doing what JFK and RFK and Teddy did. If you guys are not aware of the Kennedy brothers or their father's past or legacy, it's not Camelot. That's what they want you to romanticize because the man was assassinated. RFK didn't have a come Jesus moment after his brother died. When he started wanting to deal with black folks on a different level. But see, they said, well, we got to find something on Dr. King and Malcolm. We got to find something on all these other cats. Everybody was chomping at the bit when they found out that Jesse Jackson had a child out of wedlock. Because a female went and told the media. But you know what? In the black community, didn't respond the way they thought it would. They very rarely bring it up. You notice that? Because they didn't get the response. So they hoping now, because you have a young group of kids or a younger group of men and women who got caught in this Me Too time's up crap. Because this is nothing but regurgitation of what happened in the 90s with sexual harassment. They go about 4 or 5 years, they go strong, go after certain people, then they hit too close to home, they pull back. It's time for us as a community, especially black people, to come out and defend Dr. King and call out this BS. As I said on Nicole's channel yesterday, I said, okay, let's say for shits and giggles, it is true. Does that diminish, what Dr. King has done? Why is that such a big importance? Not his contribution to society, not the sacrifices, not the change. It's a lot of things that people still don't talk about Dr. King about. I'm saying it's been right in front of everybody all these years, but they don't want to go there. They want to talk about this man's past. They cares about a black man's sexuality, his sexual prowess. Dr. Frances Cress Wells, she studied they obsession with us. It was an episode, she was on Donahue. Donahue was condescending. Audience didn't want to hear, but she called it out. And even those of us who don't have psychology degrees, we figured it out when we was little boys and little girls. It's just that we couldn't articulate it the way she could. But they basically trying to find out how King fucked when he was alive. And that's crass. I don't want to think about this brother's sex life. We know that he had 4 kids. Him and Coretta was intimate. And if Dr. King got some on the side while he was on the road, hey, it was bound to happen. That was between him and Coretta, if it happened. We're adults. We know things happen. That don't necessarily mean that King didn't love his wife or children. He got lonely too. He had needs like any other human being if he engaged in that behavior. But I know it's hard for people to believe that we can be loyal or faithful. In their head, they can't fathom a black man not giving in to his urges. But I told y'all, once they got Cosby, they was going to come after everybody else. That's why they're doing documentaries on R. Kelly, Michael Jackson. This is why they're still talking about O.J. Simpson. They want to paint the black straight male as the most violent, the most sexually aggressive person on the planet. And we played into that stereotype. Those, our brothers and sisters in the last 25 or 30 years who've been in the rap game, y'all played this hypersexualized black male, black female dynamic. And y'all don't realize y'all aided them. Now they finna go back and go after the people that carry themselves with dignity. Dr. King didn't want to be taking a picture of seen smoking. Back in the day, smoking was common. You went on talk shows, they was lit up. Commercials, they was lit up. Cigarettes was like they had cigarette commercials that was on during the kitty hour. But he didn't want nobody, so he had enough sense to say, I don't want children seeing me smoke, because he said it was a bad habit. That was way before we found out the effects of cigarettes. So he was conscious of what he was doing. So that's why I find it hard to believe that King knew they was wiretapping that he would take a risk like that. And J. Edgar Hoover, if it's true, why didn't J. Edgar Hoover? Because he knew, because J. Edgar Hoover was afraid that it would backfire maybe. No, he wasn't. Because J. Edgar Hoover gave the order for them to kill the Panthers. So you don't think that J. Edgar Hoover would have pulled that on King? Think about it, folks. We got to use common sense. Don't think that your voice don't matter. It does matter. We have to remember, Dr. King was aging. When Dr. King came to Chicago, he looked one way. By the time he left, he looked another. Dr. King thought he was going to die in Chicago, in my home city, or was my home city. Those images you see, the white guy's picture here with the swastikas and all that, that was Chicago. That wasn't the South. That was these northern motherfuckers. Today, they're high behind, well, I'm a professor and I want to get the whole picture of Dr. King. No, what it is, you said, enough is enough. We've been celebrating that nigger for nearly 30 years now, his birthday. Even though nobody truly celebrated like they supposed to. Even though it's been his anniversary, his birthday has been whitewashed, the anniversary has been whitewashed. They said, no, we got to destroy it. Because I'm telling y'all, they said, it works so well with Bill Cosby and them. And some of you brothers and sisters, especially some of you brothers out here, you younger brothers, y'all don't get it. Y'all don't understand that y'all being programmed. Black girls, you being told that the black man is incorrigible. He can't protect you. He don't love you. He don't honor you. If you go after a cat like Dr. King, go after a man that been dead 50-something years, what can we say to successive generations? See what it is, they said we don't want Dr. King to go no further than he get now. See, they know the baby boomers are up in age now. They know us Gen Xers, we're in our late 30s, early 40s, and up to about 53 now. 53, 54. They know we're in that age range between 39. This year we 39. If you born 1970, I think 78, well 79 was the cutoff. So 1965 to 1979. So they know we're now we're up. We get to be middle age. Now we're what our parents were 30 years ago when before the internet took hold. Before we had these cable channels and everything. Think about it. I sit back and I think about it. 30 years ago, my father was in his 40s. He was in his early 40s. Well, he was 41. Fast forward 30-something years. So in the next 30-something years, we'll be in our damn 70s and stuff. And guess who be coming behind us? The millennials. And then figure by then, Dr. King will be a distant memory. Especially the millennials that was born to close to just right after 9/11. And then they said Generation Y, whatever they call them now, they definitely don't have any understanding of the past. Because now everything is a link. What's a link? What's a link? I don't want to lie, but that's old fashioned. I need my phone. I need my pad. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to whitewash history. Yesterday I was reading an article, something that I actually forgot about, and I'm ashamed because you know what? I've been conditioned too. The Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty is not a white woman. It was modeled after a black model. It was about slavery, the end of slavery. but they've rebranded it as immigration. Memorial Day. Blacks created Memorial Day. But see, they keep twisting history. That's what they're going to do to Dr. King. They're going to twist it. I remember watching an episode of Oprah years ago. They talking about the bus boycott, the Montgomery, the Freedom Riders. And Dr. King, they sanitized and they whitewashed it. When I started seeing them blur out people's faces, when I was like, no, people was on videos for years and pictures of it. Now y'all want to blur, why y'all protecting them? Let the world see. Well, they might be alive and, they might be embarrassed. So what? They participated in mobs. They was throwing rocks, spitting, beating people. Let the world see if those people still alive. The woman that lied on Emmett Till, she is still alive. So it's not that hard to fathom. Those guys picturing these images of Dr. King are still alive. I've come across them in supermarkets and libraries, gas stations. Yeah, years ago, this neighborhood was all white. Black person wouldn't get caught dead coming this far. Oh, really? Like, I didn't know that. Yeah, but we're cool. Yeah, but I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I was always cool with it. No, you wasn't. You got no choice now because you can't run out of the area now. Yeah, I went to school with a colored. 21st century. They still using the word color. That's why the other night, Jimmy Kimmel and them aired All in the Family. A lot of people, it went over a lot of these young people here, like, what would they try to do a remake? No, they was talking about how much shit didn't change. If you don't believe it, put in Marvin Gaye, what's going on. It came out 1970, 71 around that time, right? Nothing's changed. Just fashion and technology. But human nature is still the damn same. They want you to think that Dr. King was a pervert. He was a tyrant. How dare he call himself a pastor? Because we've seen a lot of pastors. I have sinned. And those are white pastors. But y'all don't see the news bringing their name up, but they fascinated with Dr. King. They fascinated with Malcolm X. And the reason being is they want to emasculate the image of the black male. I warned y'all, and I said they went after Cosby, and we allowed them to set up Cosby. They were going to go on everybody. They said, well, who's the next we're going to go after? That's about R. Kelly. At first, they say R. Kelly was keeping grown women hostage. When people said, that don't make any sense. Let's litigate his past. He went to court, felt not guilty. And now all the people here, R. Kelly's a pervert, he was this and that. I'm like, y'all bandwagon. I said, if y'all was angry at this man, should have been angry 20-some years ago. No, y'all angry now because the media has gotten what I'm looking for, instructions now. They got a blueprint of how you go after black person. Put it on TV, put it in a loop and say this is the truth. Look what they did to Farrakhan. Farrakhan ain't the Farrakhan he was back when I was a kid or our parents were kids. We got to take him off our Facebook because he's teaching hate. Where have Farrakhan been at me? Farrakhan don't be on TV anymore. Last time Farrakhan was on TV when Donnie had a show, MSNBC. That was before the Iraq War started. Who led the charge against Farrakhan? Liberals. See, we quick to say conservatives. A lot of this stuff comes from the so-called liberal. We as black Americans got to be smarter than that. Dexter, Bernice, and Martin III should not have to be fighting these battles by themselves anymore. It's bad enough they jaw-jacking their siblings, but you have to understand why they jaw-jacking. They were traumatized. Their mama was traumatized. Their deceased sister was traumatized. Martin, they saw Martin, he was laying in a coffin, glass was covering his face. A lot of y'all need to go back and look at them old images, those old video. Y'all need to sit there and close your eyes and just think about what was it like to live during that time. See, me, I can hop in my car, drive a few hours into the city, go down on certain streets, at my own risk because some of the neighborhoods got rough. But I can close my eyes and say, okay, I know I grew up on the west side, but I didn't grow up on this part of the west side, but my parents did. What was it like in 1966? Knowing that a guy like Dr. King's living on the west side of Chicago. He's going up down Pulaski and Roosevelt Road, Cicero, Madison, Cermak. You go over there in the heart of K-Town, Garfield Park. He over there by Etna's Soul Food Restaurant, about Marshall High School, down the street from Chicago Stadium. He's at Soldier Field. He's on the north side. I mean, what was it like to be going out of the very streets, and probably some of the remaining infrastructure that King walked past? What was it like? What was that? Again, fast forward to that day when you found out he died. How you felt, how empty you felt, how angry you felt. If you can't fathom that, if you was alive for 9/11, remember what happened on 9/11, how you felt. when Michael Jackson died or Whitney Houston died, how did you feel? How did you feel when Barack Obama died? You felt euphoria. You couldn't believe it. Just imagine what it was like for little black boys and girls to know that Dr. King was marching. And then think about how Coretta and her children felt when he wasn't around, because he was too busy trying to save us. Not just the black community, but America from itself. Excuse me, folks, cough fit. Now we're going to have some writer come in and say Dr. King wasn't what we thought he was. How would you know? Well, the archives, wait, if these archives are sealed to the public, how you get to know? Are you taking hearsay? Excuse me. They want to destroy the heterosexual black man, and that's what all it is. They feel they go back to our past because they know they can't defend themselves.